Hello, the void of YouTube. I thought I'd record another one of these just to keep the practice in. I don't know why I'm practicing it, but I am. But I thought I'd record another ramble. This one is about financial advice and whether or not financial advice is worth it. Now, I obviously come from a bit of a biased place because I work in the industry and benefit directly from financial advice. So I would say yes, financial advice is worth it, but I will caveat later why I think there's issues with it and probably will get some flack on the back of it. I think most people wouldn't think twice about trusting their accountant to look back and figure out what taxes they owe and what they should be doing. And I think financial planners and accountants are like yin and yang. So a good accountant is going to look backwards and figure out what you should be paying, and a good financial advisor is going to be looking forwards to figure out where you're going. They really do complement each other, and I think when you see both working together for a client, it's such a better system. Now, and I suppose another point on it is if it gets really complex, if your financial situation is complicated, you wouldn't try and fix your own car. Well, I mean, some people would, but you wouldn't normally try and fix your own car. You wouldn't sort of drill your own teeth if you had cavities. So if you've got a real problem and you're finding it really hard to sort of figure your way through it, then a financial advisor is the perfect person to speak to. We have seen an awful lot of stuff in the industry. We've seen other clients normally in similar situations, and we tend to be able to get you to the right place financially. But I suppose where I'm going to get some flack is actually the industry is full of bad apples. And I think that's where it gets tricky, because I think so much of financial advice is trust. Now, if you're looking for a financial advisor, more so than fees and anything, I mean, I would barely pay attention to fees, but what you're looking for is someone that you trust and someone that is basically going to be with you for 20, 30 years, your entire financial life, let's say, and be guiding you in the right direction, making sure you're on track and making sure you're keeping pace with what you're supposed to be doing based on your goals. They'll be setting goals for you and telling you how to achieve them. The problem with the industry is an awful lot of advisors that, and it is definitely less so. Actually, I say it's less so. It should be getting less so. I think the FCA are getting more strict, but there's an awful lot of people that are transferring things between providers and charging a fee, and it's not always that that's bad advice to do, but sometimes it's just meh advice. It's advice that's just unimpactful, but then charging that fee makes it impactful in the negative. I think the reason the industry itself kind of has a bit of a shadow over it is this old-timey like sales pitch that financial advice was, and I think we are moving away from that. We're getting more qualified, more professional, and the rules are getting stricter on what you can and can't do for clients. So we should be moving more in a direction where we are a lot more trusted. But obviously I think that side of things puts people off. And to be honest, do you need financial advice if they're just going to be transferring your pension from, I'm not going to say any names, but from provider X to provider Y with no tremendous reason why? Then we don't need that financial advice in our industry. It's not helpful. It's not, it's sort of just lining the pockets of the bigger companies. It's making everything a little bit more monopolized as well, which I never see as a good thing. So, yes, do you need a financial advisor? It depends on your situation. You can maybe figure out a lot of things yourself. You could go on YouTube and you can figure out how to tile your kitchen. Whether or not you do that or you pay a tiler are two different stories. And it's the same with your finances. If you feel confident that you can figure out exactly what you should be investing in, how much you should be investing, why and when and how, then I don't think financial advice is for people like that, which is not a bad thing. But if you want a completely hands-off, you want to just know you're being looked after, you want to know you're getting to where you need to get to, or where you want to get to, with a good plan A and a plan B, some good backup plans, then financial advice is definitely very beneficial for people like that. But yeah, we need to sort of get rid of some of the older dogs and move forward with a sort of more tech-savvy future set of advisors.